Welcome into Not Another Football Show. I'm so happy to have you for our first show back of 2026. Happy New Year. It's January, which means that a lot of people are already starting their New Year's resolutions or maybe ending them because we're, a couple days in and they start off strong and then everybody falls off. Craig Loper is joining me today for our first show of 2026, fresh off the Orange Bowl, which is why you see college football playoffs here. It's been a big weekend.
Yeah.
He was there in person. How was it?
Yeah, so I went down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. So full disclosure, I went to Oregon. Tamara knows this. My best friend from grade school, someone I played, middle school football with, high school football with, went to Oregon with, was my college roommate for 3 years at Oregon, lives in West Palm Beach. Boynton Beach, technically. And so we went to the game, went to the Orange Bowl, Texas Tech and Oregon. Beautiful stadium. First time at Hard Rock. You've been there. I had never been. Love that stadium. Very cool setup. Boring first half. Really boring first half. I think it was 6-0 Oregon at the end of the first half. And the second half kind of things got more exciting. But as someone who doesn't get a chance to go to games as a fan quite often, we just don't get a chance to do that a lot in our industry. Unbelievable experience. I hadn't seen my alma mater, Oregon, play as a fan since 2011. I went to a game in Autzen Stadium back in Eugene in 2011, but prior to that, I've never been to a game as a fan. So great experience. We were in the end zone. We were behind the goalpost of one of the end zones. Decent seats. Not the best vantage point to actually view the game, but we were next to the band. We were around a lot of Oregon fans. And there was a woman sitting in front of us, her and her husband, she knew we shared the same classes. She was 2010. Frankie was 2012, I was 2013. We knew a lot of the same former football guys that we all used to hang around. So very cool experience.
Thank you for giving us the sights and sounds of everything that happened. It was almost like you were my silent reporter just now.
Yeah.
Bringing me places that I can't go myself, things that I don't see through the TV.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was just really fun. I don't get a chance to view games like that often. You know what I mean? So just to not have to work it or worried about a post-game report or interviewing players and coaches, it's just a different experience for someone that does what we do.
So, Craig, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and you can be honest, okay? This is a fun show. You don't have to hold back. Going into the game, walking into the stadium, what was your prediction?
Oh, yeah. I knew Oregon was going to win, definitely. Yeah.
The confidence.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Texas Tech's offense was, noted for just not really just sputtering a lot and not being good. Their defense was good, and they showed that. They really shut down Oregon, and Oregon shut down itself really in that first half. And then finally, we just felt like we were going to break through, but their offense was not good. I don't know. It just wasn't on par. We have a decent defense, not the best defense, but our defense is okay. And so my prediction now, Texas Tech, they did outnumber the fans there at Texas Tech showed up. They did. That lower bowl was mostly all Texas Tech fans. Geographically, it would make sense. And going that far from Eugene, Oregon, or the Pacific Northwest to South Florida was really hard. But the small section of Oregon fans that did show up was awesome. It was fun. There's a curse in the Oregon football team that's been broken. Whenever we wear this jersey combo, gray helmets, white jerseys, gray pants, we lose in really big games. Okay. So that curse has been lifted. Going back to the 2014 national championship, the 2010 national championship, whenever we wear gray pants, we lose. So that curse has now been lifted. Before
we go on to another game. How are we feeling about
Indiana?
The next opponent coming up.
Yeah, I'm a little scared, honestly. Indiana seems like they're a team of destiny. The way they beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl, they have our number from earlier this year. Obviously, they beat us in Eugene, and they don't beat themselves, man. They are scary. 38-3 over Bama. I didn't see that coming at all. So we're gonna see what happens in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. I hope Oregon can just take some cues from the last game we played these guys and make some adjustments, and then hopefully it'll be a good game. But Indiana is scary. They are what looks like to be a team of destiny and a team playing with a lot of swagger because of their head coach and that quarterback of theirs.
So for me, I think my biggest thing, and it's so funny because new year, new me, it's so fun to see so many new teams in the mix.
Yes.
Oregon, they've been in the mix.
Right.
And so this is great to see them back in the mix, but it's not your usual Alabama and Georgia, Ohio State.
Clemson.
Bye, they're all gone. And
right.
So it's so fun to see a school like Indiana, even though you just mentioned you're a little bit scared.
Yeah.
It's fun to see new teams in the mix, which same for the NFL too. There's going to be new teams in the mix with the Chiefs in it too.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird, the college football down to 4 teams, right? The semifinals. Miami, Ole Miss, Indiana, Oregon, very different group of teams that we've seen since the college football began 10 plus years ago. In the NFL also, I mean, the Broncos are the 1 seed, who's the 1 seed in the NFC? I'm completely blanking now that I just said that. I can't even remember.
Me too.
The Seahawks. The Seahawks are the 1 seed. Like, just crazy years. So 2026 bringing some unusual suspects to the forefront.
It is. And not unusual, again, because Oregon's been in the mix, but Miami is back. The U is back.
Yeah.
Or they seem to be back. Were you shocked with the Miami outcome?
Slightly, yes. So I took a flight. I left New Year's Eve, and I almost just getting down to Florida. You almost forgot the game was on, and then we were out somewhere. Oh, this is funny. So New Year's Eve, my buddy was having some friends over to have some pizza and like wine. We were gonna have a low key New Year's Eve. So we stopped at a Total Wine store when I first got off the plane. And I forgot about the Ohio State-Miami game until we're shopping around Total Wine, and an employee at the store is like stocking the shelves with a cart, and he's playing the Ohio State game on his phone. And I was like, oh, the Ohio State game's on. So I missed the whole first half. Then we watched the second half sort of here and there, touch and go at his house, my buddy's house. But, I was shocked. Miami's dominant. Ohio State was asleep at the wheel, and Ohio State is a great team, and Miami beat them pretty handedly. So it was very shocking, but they play with some swagger, and that defense is really good, really good. So the U being in the mix is fun. It's a different animal.
It feels new just because I feel like it's been so long. I feel like when they get to this point, I feel like they always just crumble.
Yeah.
To me, what was wild was seeing Miami's defensive line against Ohio State's offensive line. I feel like the game was won in the trenches, and I was just watching Ohio State's quarterback take hit after hit after hit, and I was just like, get the ice bath going already for this guy. But the real reason why I'm super excited to see Miami continue to play, this guy.
Yeah, Michael Irvin. He's crazy,
This
man.
guy on the sidelines has been absolutely insane. Like, after each game, like, there better be, like, a camera on him, like, full game.
Yeah.
Because at the end, they've been on him. I think Ray Lewis, too, they had a camera on him, too. But I need a whole game on him.
Yeah.
Because this guy, you understand, he's, like, Miami fans right now. They're so excited to see Miami back, and obviously him as a former Miami player. Like, you get it.
They're definitely going to have the Michael Irvin cam set up for the semifinal game, and he's always got a lot of people with like phones following him around. He's mic'd up. He knows what he's doing. But yes, Michael Irvin is a character for so many reasons, and he's one of the greatest Canes of all time. So he is funny. The videos are going viral after every game they play in. So it's good. Miami is one of those programs where the former players really show up on the sidelines to support the current group as much as possible. And Michael Irvin's at the forefront of that group of guys. But yeah, Ray Lewis on the sideline. You're always going to get your Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee. Name it. Ed Reeds. There's so many guys. I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock's on the sideline for the next game.
Not The Rock.
Yeah, he's a Miami guy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So I would say that my favorite player to watch from the entire, last round that we saw in the CFP, this guy.
Yep.
Trinidad Chambliss.
Yep.
Like, just hearing his story, you're just like, you can't help but root for him. Like, can you imagine, like, I'm going from a D2 school to, play at Ole Miss. I know I'm going to be a backup.
Yep.
Like, I might never see the field, but, like, I'm going to give it a try. And then, boom, this is your life.
Unbelievable.
Like, you just can't make this stuff up. And I'm just so happy for him. And honestly, I'm going to be real here. The first half I was watching, and I think Georgia went up 2 scores or at least 10 points.
Yeah, I think so.
And I was like, Georgia's going to roll them second half. But I don't know what was said in that locker room, but the way they came out second half and won the game, remarkable.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
I watched that. I watched the second half. I was locked into Georgia, Ole Miss second half. Trinidad, he has probably the best story in all of college football right now, like hands down, to be at D2 Ferris State. And when he was running around making plays in that second half, he looked like, I'm not no scout or anything, but he looked like the first pick in the draft to me. I know he's like 6'1", 200 pounds, and people want to say whatever, but he looked like an elite player that was making elite players on Georgia's defense look like elementary school kids out there. So he is the best story in college football. At the time of this recording, I guess they announced they expect his waiver to come through for the NCAA, and he could be coming back to college for another year, and he's going back to Ole Miss. There was a speculation that he would just leave with Lane and go to LSU, but apparently, we're announcing re-signings in college football nowadays.
We are.
He says they're saying he was on SportsCenter this morning. I watched it, and he said he's re-signing with Ole Miss. So
I think the big story with them is like right after the game, like there was some uncertainty about how many assistants are going to be allowed to coach in the next game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh? I mean, I do get like, you know, right now the portal's open, and I get right now that like you would want your assistants back at LSU for when, you know, transfer guys come in for a visit, but also like you're going to leave them high and dry with no assistants?
It's a terrible time. This story is one of the ones I'm more frustrated about in all of college football. You know, beginning with Lane. I don't think Lane should have ever left Ole Miss to begin with, because now you're in this crazy situation. And yeah, it's tough. What do these guys do? You know, you got 5 or 6 guys on that staff. They're trying to pull double duty. The portal's open, but you have a chance. You're one game away from the national championship. Like you need to be coaching your team up. And so for them to have to pull this double duty, it sucks. It's no one's fault except for really the NCAA when it structures how this thing works, and these coaches being able to leave. And like you said, high and dry. Charlie Weiss Jr. wants to coach in the semifinal. He should. They are going to coach, but it's there's so much room for discussion and what's right and what's wrong. It's not right that these guys are having to do both. It sucks. It just sucks, you know?
It does. And I guess we'll see how it all pans out in the next few days or so. But we're going to get into predictions, so we're going to take a quick break and be right back. And we're back on Not Another Football Show. Craig is probably wondering, and you're probably wondering, why it says Dry January. So a lot of people do Dry January with no alcohol for the month of January. I have trying to put a twist on it here, trying to have some fun on the show. There were a lot of, I feel like, games where there were 3 points or no points scored in the past, 3-4 CFP games. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, do you think they can carry it over into the semifinals? Like, do you think that there will be a shutout here in the semifinals? Do you think there will be, 20-something to 3, or is that not possible?
I can't see that happening. No way. I don't know. I think every
like,
team hanging left is serviceable. Like, I guess the number one Miami's offense would be the most questionable. Like, they can kind of sputter sometimes.
Indiana and Alabama, I wasn't expecting that.
No.
Like 3 points?
No, it is.
I was expecting that to be closer. Like, that was insane.
That was nuts.
I mean, even your guys, Oregon.
22 points. Yeah, 22 to nothing. I guess you're right. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just like the stage. Maybe it's, the travel. These guys, there's not a lot of time. Now, so you go from quarterfinals to semis. These guys, think about Oregon's travel, okay? This is crazy. I was around this team for down there for the game, and I'm thinking to myself, this game gets over at like 4 Eastern on New Year's Day. They got to get on a flight. You fly west. Now, you gain 3 hours flying west. That helps. You basically fly west. You go home. You have practice for 3 days. Then you got to fly back to Atlanta. Like, they're isolated in the Pacific Northwest. That is a lot of travel time. And these guys, man, people get tired. It's the travel alone will wear you out. So now there's a lot of turnaround between the quarterfinals and the semis. It's really not as much time as you think, especially because a lot of these teams have media obligations when they show up to the next bowl game. So they got to show up really 2 days earlier as opposed to 1 day earlier. It's
sounding very like NFL-like with the way that, some of these international games have been, where you're trying to get used to a huge time difference. You've been flying for 8 to 10 hours, expected to play. And then some people are on a short week.
Yes.
Some people might have played on a Thursday or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. They're getting ready for the pros. I mean, they're being paid like pros. So I guess you got to learn how to deal with the things off the field that really step into playing a game. And so now I'm curious. Predictions. Oregon versus Indiana.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, I'm not going to pick against my Ducks. That's a given. Indiana scares the crap out of me, but we're going to trust our coaching staff to make the adjustments from the previous game, and I think it'll be close.
What adjustments do you think need to be made from the
they got
to
figure out Indiana's defense. Indiana's defense is lights out, and we struggled against them, and they beat us up in the trenches bad, like really bad in the first game. So we got to figure out a way to get the ball out quick. We got to figure out to run the ball downhill. We just got to figure out a way to move the ball against Indiana because we couldn't do it last time. And then Indiana's offense, 38 points against Bama. They looked like crazy good. We got to rattle Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winner. So I'll go, if you want to put me on blast for a score prediction, I'm going to go Oregon 24, Indiana 20. How about that?
You have them winning.
Yeah. I got to pick Oregon.
Wow.
I know.
From your whole prediction, it sounded like it was going to go towards Oregon losing, and then you just throw that bomb out there.
I just can't. Come on. If I send this to my Oregon network, do you think I can
Fair.
live with
Fair.
myself. Picking,
okay, but
one
one thing I will say is it's hard to beat a team twice. Whether I feel like no matter what sport it is, no matter if NFL or here, like I mean, same thing. I keep bringing up the NFL, but the Panthers having to play the Rams again in their first game. Like obviously they beat them a couple weeks ago, but can they do it again? It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that too with I think Bills and Patriots. They split one each, one in each location.
Right.
So you never know. It looked rough the first time, but you never know this time around when they're in a different neutral site. Because where were they in the first game?
They were in Eugene, in Oregon. Yeah, they beat them, and they beat us good. That's what's so scary about it. Now we go to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, neutral site. We'll see what happens.
Neutral site. You better hope your Ducks show up too, because Indiana's a lot closer.
It is. You would think Indiana would once again have the geographical advantage, and they would send more people down there. But we'll see. I think in that other semi, I think Miami. I think Miami wins. I think that defense is lights out. So I got Oregon and Miami in the national championship. In Miami, by the way. Did you know that? I did not realize that.
That's pretty unreal.
The national championship is at Hard Rock Stadium.
How much do you believe in this guy, Carson Beck?
Somewhat. I mean, I don't think he's great, but I think he's decent. He's experienced, which is what you kind of want in the college football game nowadays. Like all these guys are highly experienced. Mm-hmm. He's played a lot of games. Fernando Mendoza's played a lot of games. Dante Moore is young. Trinidad's young, so I guess, it could go either way. But I just think Miami's defense is lights out. They're playing with the swagger. They're playing with the confidence. And they got some playmakers on offense that can get the job done in key moments where Carson doesn't have to, he doesn't need to pass for 400 yards for them to win.
For the plot, I kind of wanted Georgia to be Ole Miss just because that would have been Carson Beck's old team that he was playing against.
Yes.
But for the story, I still liked Trinidad.
Yeah.
Way better in this. It's a great story. And I honestly feel like this one's going to come down to the wire. If Miami ends up winning and Miami plays in a national championship in their own stadium, that's going to be wild.
They've done it before. Back in the 80s and the 90s, they were winning national championships at the Orange Bowl. That's what made the program so electric and was made for some pretty historical moments.
I mean, even their game, bringing up, dry January, their game, I was truly not expecting that to happen against Ohio State. Coming into it, you would think, Ohio State's going to, destroy them because they've been there, done that, got a T-shirt.
Yep.
They shocked us all, honestly. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I used to work there, so I am rooting for Miami, especially because they're an ACC school. I'm rooting for them always, except for when they're playing Virginia Tech.
Right.
So I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. And wait, did you give your prediction for this one?
Yeah. I'm gonna take Miami. I think Miami wins.
Okay, so you're
Miami beats Ole Miss.
I almost said Super Bowl. Oh my God.
What?
Your national championship is Oregon
and Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And
put me on a record.
Will you be able to take off to go to that?
I have a flight booked home to Eugene, Oregon on January 14th. So my buddy who's down in Florida, he wants me to cancel that trip and come back down for the national championship. And I'm like, dude, I barely see my family as it is. I already have the flight booked. It was $250 round trip, pretty cheap. I could watch the national championship on TV with my friends and family back home. But then there's part of me is it's the national championship.
When's the next time you're going to see your team there? I think that's the tough part.
It's a hard decision. We'll wait. I'm just waiting for the game to be done this Friday night, and we'll pivot if we have to. And thank God there's 2 weeks in between the games, the national championship.
All right, y'all. We'll keep Craig's predictions in your back pocket. Make sure to blast him if he is wrong, but make sure to congratulate him if he is right. Hopefully. And keep him in your thoughts and prayers on his decision on whether he should go home and see his family or whether he should go to the national championship, because it could be a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
And it's not
30
far.
years from now, you could be like, dang, I should have went.
2-hour flight, direct. You can go direct.
Home. You can go home and see your family another time.
I know, but it's already booked.
Or they can join you at the national championship.
And then you know what these airlines do when that national championship is set. Every flight going into South Florida, you've been down there, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, Miami International. It's going to be more. Their prices are going to be more. Mm-hmm. So it's like, come on, what are we doing? Price gouging that stuff.
As the kids would say, YOLO, you only live once. Craig, thank you. Per usual, you're great. Thanks for coming on. You. Fresh off your flight from the Orange Bowl to
and I went
CFP
straight to work
with
afterwards.
Me, straight to work. You're the real MVP. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Not Another Football Show. I'll see you next time.